Hey friends, Ernie here. Sorry, just got to do a little housework here. And here we go. Sorry, just got to do a little housework here. And there we go. So this video is about why you should join the zero-DTE.com service. So first of all, what is zero DTE? It stands for 0 days to expiration. And what we do here is we practice the strategy that I've developed along with my mentor and on how to trade that last day of expiration of options on the S&P. Now, a lot of people will trade options on the index, the SPX. We don't do that, although occasionally I do, and I always regret it. We trade options on the E-mini futures, the ES, and there's some very, very good reason for that. For one, if you have a smaller account, the SPX simply is not an option because you're going to be subject to a pattern day trader rule, which means that after three day trades in a 5-day rolling window, your account will be locked up for 90 days. Now, that's basically game over once that happens, and it is bound to happen sooner or later, perhaps sooner, when you're trading the SPX with an account smaller than $25,000. Now, that may not be a hindrance for you. Maybe you have an account larger than $25,000, so it doesn't apply. Well, there's still a lot of good reasons why you shouldn't use the SPX. Now, everything I'm telling you right here is all of the knowledge and part of the methodology and the strategy that we have developed for trading the zero DTE. And a lot of people will ask me, hey, I really don't really care about, the support or the training. I just want your alerts. And I want you to know that if that's the case, then this service is definitely not for you. You may think that you can just take the alerts and learn my strategy, but I can guarantee you cannot. And if you would like to trade like a professional, you would like to gain the returns and the return on capital that we experience, the asymmetric returns, then it's going to take some doing. There is no prescriptive strategy. It's not a systematic strategy. It is definitely discretionary. However, we have our rules and our process and our methodology, but this is definitely not something that I can write down on a piece of paper and say, hey, follow this, and then you'll get it. Well, it'll be a very long paper, first of all. However, if you want to learn how we are achieving asymmetric returns, how we achieve better than an 80% win rate with an average return on capital or return on our risk that we use of 150% or more 3 times a week, then join us. I mean, those are the reasons why you would join. Another reason why the SPX is not the best trading medium for the zero DTE style of trading is that, first of all, it has no volume. How do you analyze a market without volume? You simply cannot. You just can't. In particular, our methodology is almost exclusively based on volumetric analysis using volume profile and order flow, which I believe is the only true measure of a market, and that is who's trading what where. The other reason is that the SPX is only open for trading during market hours, as opposed to the E-mini. Well, let me back up a little bit. First of all, the futures contract has no day trader pattern day trader rule associated with it. You can trade as much as you want in and out all day long, and you'll never be tagged as a pattern day trader. And then to the other point of volume, volume is included with the futures contract. And so you can analyze that, and it's opened 23 hours a day. So you have continuity, throughout the entire day with no breaks in the action, which is a real problem with the SPX. So the only problem that I think some people will point to, they say that the futures, they're just way too expensive. The commission is too high. Well, the reason why the commissions are too high is that you don't know how to negotiate with your broker to lower your commissions. Of course, the commissions are too high. They make them high for people who are uninitiated. You just go to your broker, negotiate a lower rate, and you'll get a lower rate. But even if you don't do that, the risk-adjusted cost of your commissions on the E-mini compared to the SPX is still cheaper. And especially when you consider the advantages that you get. No pattern day trader rule. You get volume. You get trading 23 hours a day. There is just no comparison. Now, our strategy is way more than just sending out some alerts and then you following it like a monkey. If pro traders felt that they could trade like a monkey, they would just get the best trader out there to throw out alerts and then they would become pro traders. But they don't, because they realize that there's way more to it than that. You cannot learn this strategy by me just throwing alerts at you. In fact, this whole service is designed around teaching you about the methodology, which is, by the way, continually being developed and improved. Although it's right now it is a very effective strategy. And, well, there's always room for improvement. But as I had said, we are averaging 150% return on our risk used. This is diametrically opposed to what most other people are doing with the 0 DTE, where they're trying to eke out maybe 5 or 10% of the risk that they put on, right? And then they have to settle for 50% of the premium that they collect in that day just to hope that their trade won't go wrong. Also, when you're trading with such a small reward to risk ratio, you have to stay in the trade all day. With our methodology, you don't. You can stay in for a few hours and make literally 10 times as much as you make with the other strategies in 1/3 the time. So if you'd like to learn this way of trading, then sign up. I have a trial. You can join the trial. It's pretty easy, 0-dte.com/try. And you can trade along with us for 4 weeks. If after that 4 weeks you decide it's not for you, or any time in between there, 1, 2, 3 weeks, you decide it's not for you, then quit. No obligation to stay on. But if you decide to stay on, which I'm 95% sure that you will. I mean, it's not for everybody. But if you decide to stay on, then I'll take the cost of that trial and I will credit you that cost towards the service, giving you a substantial discount and essentially making that first month of trading for free. And if you're like most people, you'll probably make enough in that first month to pay for the service for probably 2 years of the cost of the service. Absolutely true. Like today. Today, we are very close to maximizing our profit. Let's see here. We're very close. I mean, we could get out right now with about 300% return on our capital today. If the market moves down a couple of points, I mean, we could potentially do 1,000%. but it's not what we're shooting for, and it's very difficult to attain that max profit every single time. In fact, we do it about 1 out of every 10 times, and then the rest of the time we're making good, steady, magnanimous profits the rest of the time. As I said, averaging 150% return on the risk that we put up. And again, diametrically opposed to what everybody else is doing in 0 DTE. Now, some people have complained that, I'm not telling anybody what the strategy is. Well, I'm telling you that we use volume profile and other methodologies for our analytics prior to the trade. We put on asymmetric trades, and then we manage the profits. We do not manage risk. Managing risk is a sure way to become a loser. In other words, you're managing how much you want to lose. If that isn't the most defeatist way of trading, I don't know what is. But we don't do that. We manage our profits because we're mostly in profit most of the time. Whereas in the other methodologies that are trading this style are mostly underwater almost all the time and hoping for a profit at the end of the day. So those are the differences, and those are the reasons why you should join our service. That's pretty much it. Everybody that joins the service gets one-on-one coaching and mentoring. They get my personal phone number, and I want to make sure that they're successful. And for the most part, everybody is successful. I mean, there are a few people out there that have a hard time with any kind of strategy. But for the most part, our clients are successful, and they find it easy. They find it a no-stress way, zero anxiety way of trading, where the other methodologies are constant anxiety from the moment that you're in to the moment that you finish the trade. With ours, it's not that way at all. We take very, very small risks to make very large profits. That's the asymmetric way. That's all I've got to say. I want to thank you very much. Give it a try. You've got really nothing to lose and everything to gain. So, thank you. Take care.